Hello, everyone. We're going to run through the Seaweed compensation plan. Just a brief overview. We will do some videos that are more in depth on strategies behind things like the binary compensation and the matrix and how that really works out and goes in depth. But this will be a fairly detailed overview for folks that are wanting to learn the compensation plan, how to maximize the compensation plan for themselves and for their team members. So one of the most important decisions is how you get started. Obviously, we've got the trade pack, $500 will make you a minor. And then we have the trade 8 pack for $2,000. That'll make you a pro miner. And there are some benefits financially within the compensation plan to start out as a pro miner. You can still make good money as a miner for sure. And as a pro miner, you can make better than good money. You can make a little bit more. And I'll kind of go through that as well. There's 4 different ways that Seaweed pays us out. Retail profits, getting ISPs, new partners who buy their own software or they make their first sell. We can make retail profits off of that, or we can make retail profits selling the software to our own customers. There's binary commissions that pays out for building teams. There's a 3x20 matrix that pays out on the profits of our organization's trading software. And then there's a leadership pool that takes the entire revenue each month of software sales globally for the entire company, and they share that revenue, basically 8% of that revenue, through all the leadership positions in CWE. So going right into it, we'll start with the retail profit. Pretty cut and dry. If you introduce people to the company, so let's say this is you here and you bring me into the company, they will pay you a 15% commission off of the pack that I buy or the pack that I sell. Now, when I sign up in CWE, I can get started for free. It's free to sign up, and I have 24 hours to either purchase my own software, which most people will probably want to use the software, so they'll just purchase their own software. That's what I did. If I didn't purchase my own software, maybe I couldn't afford it, young kid just out of college, I can also sell that software using my customer link to a friend or a family member, a neighbor, someone I meet on online, social media. And when I sell that software, my first customer, the commission rolls up to you, whether it's me becoming my own first customer, or if I recruit, come in for free and recruit my mom as a customer and bring her in, the first commission goes to you. So let's just say I bought my own $2,000 pack. That's what I did when I got started. It's going to pay you 15% of that $2,000 pack, which is 300 in what we call PV. That's equivalent to US dollars. So basically $300 that pays out daily. There is a 3-day cancellation period. If you sell me the software, I have 72 hours where I can cancel my software and get my money back, a full refund, no questions asked. And so the company waits until hour number 73 when my 3 days are up, and then they'll release that commission to you. So that $300 will pay daily. There's a little lag in it just for the refund policy to close off, where they know, hey, this gentleman wants his software. He wants to keep it. He's past his refund period, and so now they're going to pay you out. There's also an indirect bonus of 5%. If I introduce someone who buys the software, you get 5% of that. If they buy the $2,000 package, you get $100 for that person. And if I bring in another person, you'd make 100 there. If you brought in someone here, you'd make 300 here off of Bob. Bob brings in Mike, you'd make $100 here. Bob brings in Jan, you'd make $100 here. And then if they start bringing in people, there is no more retail profits paid out to you. You only get 2 levels of direct and indirect bonuses. So that's retail profits, and those are paid daily. Then we've got the binary commission. The binary commission, we will run a training on just the binary part of the compensation plan. For those of you that are not familiar with it, it'll kind of go through the strategy a little bit and more in depth on spillover, on flushing and non-flushing. We do have a non-flushing binary for folks that are familiar with the terminology behind the compensation plan. For brand new folks, it's a pretty simple plan. You bring in people in your left leg and you bring in people in your right leg. You only build 2 teams. So if you brought in Justin and you brought in Adrian, those are your first 2 people. And then if you bring in a third person, let's say you bring in Simon, you can place Simon down here under Justin, and that benefits Justin and it benefits you. And that creates what we call spillover when you put people in your organization under other people. If you bring in a Charles, a fourth person personally, you might put Charles in your right team at the bottom of your right team under Adrian. That benefits Adrian, that benefits you as well. And you can bring in as many people as you want, and your people can build as big of a team as they want. Let's focus on keeping it simple. Let's say you bring in 2 people and you help them do the same. They bring in 2 people and they bring in 2 people. Some people will bring in 0, and there are people that will bring in 20 people. There's probably some people that end up sponsoring 100 people into this company. Some will do a little, some will do a lot. We never know until they do it. And so in this scenario, let's say you brought in your first people, you would get the direct bonus. Obviously, you'd get indirects off of the people they brought in. If these people, let's say Justin got the $2,000 pack and Adrian got the $2,000 pack, the company pays what we call a cycle bonus of 10% of the volume from what we call our pay leg. If the legs are even, they'll just pick a leg. Let's say your left leg, they say, is your pay leg. 2,000 on the left, 2,000 on the right. It's going to pay you $200 PV basically, and it will convert that into Bitcoin when you request it to be sent into your wallet. It does not matter whether you bring the people in personally or your team members bring the people in or someone above you spills over and puts people on your team. The volume counts for you the whole way. The only thing you need to do to qualify for the binary is you need to make sure that you personally have $2,000 in enrollment sponsor line volume on your left leg and $2,000 in enrollment sponsor line volume on your right leg. What sponsor line means is you personally bring them in, or they bring someone, or that person brings in someone, and so on and so forth. It's within what we call your sponsorship enrollment line of volume. So if you brought in someone who did 2,000, right there, that qualifies your left leg. Let's say you brought me into your right leg and I only did a $500 pack, but then I brought my mom in and she did a $2,000 pack. Right there, you've got enrollment line volume of 2,000 or more. That would qualify your right leg. The easiest way to do it is just bring in 2 pro miners, one on your left that you sponsor and put one on your right that you sponsor, and 2,000 in each. It'll pay you the $200 bonus and you're qualified for the binary cycles. If your people start bringing in folks, let's say Justin's here and he brings in a couple people, you can make $200 if Adrian brings in one and Justin brings in one. You can make $200 for each person you bring in on your pay leg. So 6,000 in your right, 6,000 PV in your left, and you'd make 200 here, 200 here, 200 here, $600 total. That can add up. If you're a miner, you can make up to $2,500 a day in the cycle bonuses and up to $12,500 per week. If you're a pro miner, it gives you quite a bit of a pay increase if you start to bring in and build a big team. $10,000 a day, up to $60,000 a week. Now, there's no guarantees as to earnings, but there are people in the company that have capped out the compensation plan and max it out on a daily and a weekly basis. So it's something that's been achieved. And if someone else has done it, we can all do it as well. There's no guarantees that we will, but it is possible because we've seen it done. And so the binary, again, is a non-flushing binary, meaning if you build a team on your right leg with 1,000,000 points in it, every person you bring in, $200 here. This person brings someone, $200, and it'll just start working down on that $1,000,000. It's never going to flush. The only time the binary will flush is if you hit the cap. If you're hitting the $10,000 a day, they flush a little bit of volume out away from your pay leg, if you will. So that is the only time you'll see a flush is on your pay leg. The power leg, if you will never flush. And again, if you're not familiar with binary terminology, we are going to do a full compensation plan video that just focuses on the binary, and it will go into the terminology and it will go into the strategy. This is just a brief overview. whoever your sponsor is, or if you're working with a regional director or a national director, or your sponsor can get you up to your regional or national director, they can personally help you learn some of the terminology and share that information with you until we get the more in-depth video out for everybody. So that's the binary. We also have a 3x20 matrix. Again, we'll have a video out that focuses solely on the matrix. Until then, you can contact your regional or national directors above you and have them share a little bit of their insights. The beauty of the binary, going back, when you bring people into the binary, that's all you need to do is personally, you can place them in the left side or the right side. Usually you'll place people on the outside left or the outside right, depending on which leg is smaller. That's the leg that you'll want to build volume-wise. If you do not personally place someone in, the company will automatically, after 24 hours of them signing up, they'll automatically place them in the smaller volume leg that'll help you make what we call a cycle bonus. And so when you place someone into the binary, or the computer places them in the binary in your pay leg for you, it also automatically fills up your matrix. A 3x20 matrix to fill up all the way would take over 3.4 billion people. So you don't really need to worry about filling it up and going below your 20th level and getting into level 21, 22. You would have to bring in over 3.5 billion people, or a little over 3.4 billion people, for that to happen. How this pays out is pretty simple. It takes the profits from the trading software, and each week our clients are invoiced, whether we're our own customer or we bring in our mom or our neighbor who becomes a customer. Each week they have to send in net profits. They send a percentage of their net profits in to the company to pay for their bots. It's a commission that they utilize for their bots. 10% of the total profits that are sent in feed into the matrix. So if I'm in your team, let's say I'm right down here, and I create $1,000 in profit through the trading software over a week. That means $100, 10% of that 1,000, which is $100, goes into the matrix. And this person above me would basically get 5% of that $100, or $5 in PV. The person above them would also get $5. It pays 5% 20 levels up. And then let's say you're up here above that person, you would get $5 because of my trading profits. If this person's a high level trader trading $500,000 and maybe they made 10 grand, $1,000, 10% of that would go into the matrix. Out of $1,000, this person would get $50. This person would get $50 because of this one person's trading. You would get $50 off of that person, plus the $5 off of me. There's $55. You'd make a percentage off of this person's net profit trades. Everyone within your organization, as you build a bigger and bigger team, this can be a very, very lucrative part of our compensation plan. The company already, between all its assets, trades through Bittrex, Binance, some of our biggest exchanges, around $480 million in assets in trading off and on throughout a month. So there is large amounts of money trading. With cryptocurrency booming, when and if and when it does, there's going to be some fairly significant incomes made off the trading software. No guarantees, but if crypto booms, there's going to be some significant incomes made off the trading software, and that will create some significant incomes within the matrix. If you live in the United States, Canada, Colombia, Brazil, Europe, New Zealand, or Australia, there are some customer requirements to qualify for all 20 levels of the matrix pay. Your own software will qualify if you are your own customer. You don't have to be, but if you did purchase your own software, that'll qualify you for level 1 through 5. If you sold software to a customer, that'll qualify you for level 1 through 5. Now, if you are your own customer and you sell the software to a customer and you have yourself and one extra customer, so a total of 2 customers, yourself included, that'll qualify you for level 6 through 10. 3 personal customers, these are people that are not ISPs. They're not independent software partners. They are just customers. These countries listed here, their regulators appreciate it when companies have what we call outside customers. That means people that do not participate in the compensation plan. They're not in the business to make money. They just like the software. They want to trade with the software. And if you have 4 customers, so yourself and 3 additional customers, that will qualify you for all 20 levels of pay within the matrix. If you're in Asia, there are 0 customer requirements. So Asia, the regulators do not have customer requirements, so the company does not have requirements for the Asian marketplace. The last bonus we'll talk about is the leadership pool. It's an 8% of the global revenue. That's paid monthly. The matrix is paid weekly. The binary and the direct commissions and indirect commissions are paid daily. So we get paid daily, weekly, and monthly with the CWE compensation plan. And when we qualify for the profit sharing pools, if you promote to regional director, you share 2% of the total revenues with all the other regional directors in the company. And national director, you share with that pool with all the other nationals. International is the same, global director is the same. At each level as you move up, typically, and in reality right now, there's less and less people at the higher levels, which means each person at those levels gets a bigger chunk when the checks get paid out monthly. Whatever you qualify for, if you hit regional director in January, it will pay you out profit sharing for the entire month of February, and you'll get paid around March 3rd, March 4th. If you're a national director in January, then it goes through the month of February. It adds up all the revenue for the month of February. It'll pay you the regional director pool, and it will pay you the national director pool. If you're the highest level, the global director, you'll get paid a percentage of the regional. You'll get paid your national pool, you'll get paid the international pool, and you'll get paid the global pool. So that's how that works. To qualify for each of these levels, to be a regional director, you must be a pro minor. So you have to have come in at the 2000 package, or you've had to upgrade to the 2000 package and become a pro minor. You have to sponsor what we call 3 active pros. An active pro is a pro minor who personally sponsors 2 pro minors. So this pro minor brings in 2 pro minors. This pro minor brings in 2 pro minors. This pro minor brings in 2 pro minors. So you have to personally sponsor 3 people who are pro minors, and they each personally sponsor 2 pro minors themselves. You have to maintain 2 active customers. Your own software counts as 1. And then you have to create $50,000 in unilevel volume. That means personally sponsored volume. No spillover, not your binary volume, not your matrix volume. The computer automatically tracks your personally sponsored people and their personally sponsored people and their personally sponsored people, so on and so on and so on. And your volume needs to be $50,000 each month. The volume resets at 11:50 p.m. at the end of the month, Pacific time in the United States. For everywhere in the world, it's going to reset on Los Angeles time. So you basically have until 11:50 p.m., the last day of the month, Pacific time, to get your promotion achieved, and then you can participate in the 2% profit pool as a regional director. As you go up to national director, you need to be a pro minor. You need to sponsor 5 active pros. That's the same definition. An active pro is a pro minor who brings in 2 pro minors at least. You need 2 regional directors in different legs. It doesn't matter whether you personally bring them in or they just fall into your team somewhere, 2nd level, 3rd level, 20th level. It doesn't matter how deep down it goes. They just have to be in your sponsorship line. And you need $250,000 in volume each month. Again, that volume resets at the end of the month at 11:50 Pacific time. Then you'll participate in the national director profit sharing pool. International director, you need 8. You need to be a pro minor again. You need 8 active pros, 3 regional directors in different legs, 2 national directors in different legs. You need to maintain 4 active customers, and you need to have 750,000 in monthly volume. So between the 1st and the 28th of February, you needed to have 750,000 in volume. Between the 1st and the 31st of March, you need to have 750,000 in volume, and it resets each month. You'll never lose your promotion level, but to get paid out the profit sharing, you need to continue to qualify each month at these levels. What I've found as you get a bigger and bigger organization, the volume is easier and easier to achieve because you have more people helping you build your team and market the software. The last level is global director. You need to be a pro minor. You need to have 12 active pros. Those are pro miners who each bring in 2 pro miners personally. You need 3 national directors and 3 international directors in different legs. You need to maintain 5 active customers. Your active customers, they can be $500 trade packs. It doesn't really matter if they are the pros doing the trade 8-pack or if they just did the trade pack. They just have to be active customers that are not participating in the compensation plan. And you need to have $1.5 million in total monthly volume within your unilevel. Now, this is very achievable. There's already a global director in the company, so because they've been able to do it, we know it's possible. The last thing I'll wrap up with some notes on the compensation plan. Make sure you place your people within 24 hours of signing them up. If you do not, the CWE computer will place them automatically in the leg with the smallest amount of volume. That's going to help you get paid. I think it's better to place them yourself right away. When you log into your back office, you'll see if you have someone in your holding tank. Check out your binary network tree. It'll let you know, hey, you've got someone in your holding tank. They need to be placed, and you can put them into the business. Keep things super simple, guys. Don't get overwhelmed with all the information in the compensation plan. Get 2 people, help them get their 2 people. Get 2 who get 2. Repeat the process over and over again. Help your people get their 2. Keep doing it. If you want to break records, go get 6 people. Go get 8 people. You don't have to stop at 2, but if you just focus on getting your first 2, helping them get their first 2, and repeating that process, you will do extremely well with the compensation plan. This plan will reward us for results. If we work to get 2 to 3 pro traders coming in between both our left team and our right leg each day, that'll help us make, $400 to $600 a day. There's no guarantees that we'll bring in that many people, but if you do, the compensation plan will reward you with $400 to $600 a day, not including the direct or indirect bonuses. Help your leaders do the same. We've already had people doing that. We started working 2 months ago in the United States, and we've had people maximize the compensation plan and cap out the binary daily compensation plan at the pro minor level. That doesn't mean it's guaranteed for you to happen. It doesn't mean that they'll continue to do that. But what it means is it's happened. And that's really what the human being needs to understand. I remember the story of Roger Bannister. No one in human history had run a sub 4-minute mile. There were doctors that actually thought your lungs would explode and you would die if you got to under 4 minutes running the mile. But Roger Bannister truly believed that he could run a sub 4-minute mile, and he did it. And the amazing thing is not necessarily that he did it, but within a few months of him achieving that, there were dozens of people that broke the 4-minute mile. It wasn't a physical barrier for those people. It was a mental barrier for those people. And the beauty with our compensation plan is there's already people that are maxing it out. There's already people that are doing it. So we know it's doable and we know we can achieve it. So that's the nuts and bolts on the compensation plan. Thanks for sharing some of your time with us to learn more about the compensation plan. Again, we're going to do some more in-depth videos on just the binary. We'll do an in-depth video on just the matrix as well, so you can really grasp that and the terminology behind that. Until those videos are out, contact your regional directors, your national directors, your international directors, and global directors if you're working with them, and they will be able to share some of the strategies behind the compensation plan and the building of it. But keep it simple. Get 2 who get 2, help them get their 2, help them get their 2, repeat the process. Get 2 who get 2, and I promise if you focus on keeping it simple, you help your people get their qualifications done, grab their first 2 pro miners, one on their left, one on their right, you'll be amazed at how quick you can take advantage of this amazing compensation plan. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. I look forward to helping to shed some light on some of the in-depth processes behind the compensation plan, and I look forward to helping each and every one of you achieve your financial goals and dreams over the next few days, months, and years with the CWE compensation plan.